It's that time again. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the RoseGlassKnits podcast. My name is Laurel, and let's just kind of dive right in. So, with what I'm wearing the Stonecrop Pullover by Andrea Mowry, and this was the Rhinebeck sweater from I think 2019. I'm pretty sure it was the year before COVID, and there was no Rhinebeck in 2020. Um, I usually like her Rhinebeck sweater patterns quite a bit, but I never actually make them like in the time frame they're supposed to be made in. So I knit my Stonecrop up, I believe, in 2022, maybe into 2023. I don't remember exactly, but it's fairly recent. And I definitely bought the yarn for it a lot earlier than when I started the project, which is a really bad habit of mine. But I knit mine up in the black is Magpie Fibers Domestic Fingering, and just the colorway black, which unfortunately I don't think they do the domestic fingering um, base anymore. I think they have different bases that they do now. But yeah, so I use that. And then the contrast color is Spincycle yarns dyed in the wool in Sunset Strip, which is again right up my color alley with the yellow, orange, pink kind of gradient going on. And I really love this sweater. I want to say I think I knit it on like the recommended needle size. I think my gauge was pretty spot on. I did find that the neckline on it ended up being a little bit wider than I think is intended. It almost became a boat neck, but I don't mind. I would much rather have that than have something that sits like too close on my neck. I'm not a turtleneck girly. um, and then I knit mine to just like the 3/4 length sleeves. There are baubles in this pattern. There are little cables around the baubles. I have some dog hair, but that's, dog hair is optional. Um, but yeah, it was a really fun pattern to knit up. It did take me a while, just like the detail on a larger circumference project took me a little bit. But it's also a really great pattern to practice cabling without a cable needle, because they are really small little cables, and that definitely helped it not take quite so long. And I will also say the number of just like loose ends on the inside of the sweater is astronomical. I didn't weave in like hardly any ends. They're all just kind of tucked in there. Um, but it's okay. It's all right. I actually think I might try braiding some of those ends together. I was watching What Millie Makes, and she made this beautiful Fair Isle cardigan for Rhinebeck. If you have not watched her videos on her cardigan or just her videos in general, I love her aesthetic. She does a lot of very kind of like girly. She does like a lot of pinks. She does a lot of like texture, and she's really clever. Like she takes a lot of inspiration and then kind of just figures out how to make a sweater or whatever garment she's inspired by. And I love watching her. I think she's amazing. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably come across her and you're like, girl, we know. But if you haven't, I will link her down below. But what she did, because she did a lot of color work in her cardigan, is she just braided the ends instead of weaving them in. And I think I'm going to try that. I feel very inspired by that. And over time, they'll kind of felt together in that braid. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm terrible about actually finishing my knits. I think I knit this, finished it, and then set it aside and didn't even like wash or block it for months. It's terrible. I don't know why I'm like this. Um, but yeah, so that is my Stonecrop. It is very well loved now. I just sometimes need a little bit of inspiration to actually get things finished. It's terrible. It's terrible. But if anybody else is like me, where you knit because you love to knit and then you finish your object and you're like, I don't have time for weaving in, I don't have time for blocking, like it can wait, I can wait to wear it, I just want to knit the next thing, then you found your kindred spirit. And I'm sure most of you watching are probably horrified, like, Laurel, just finish your projects. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had an answer for why I am the way I am, but here we are. So I do want to show you guys a little bit of my spinning. I did finish the first ply of my next combo spin. This is the 316 Dye Studio. I always want to call it Dye Works, and I don't know where that comes from. 316 Dye Studio. This is her, I know it's camel, silk, alpaca. I don't remember, and I don't have the label sitting right next to me like a good podcaster would. But it's incredibly soft. This base is amazing. And the colorway is Cinder and Smoke, and it is a beautiful kind of brownie red. There's some gray in there, which of course you can't see because it's a little bit further in the in the bobbin. But yeah, I finished spinning this up. It spun up pretty thin. I'm hoping to actually make a 3-ply. I had talked about this project previously and was going to do a 2-ply with some Three Waters Farm, I believe it's Corriedale, and colorway Graham Cracker, which is just a lovely brown. And I actually think that one of the monthly Nest fiber subscription colorways that just came through would make a really good 3rd-ply. I've never done a 3-ply. I've only done a couple of 2-ply yarns so far. So I think I might try that, see if I get something a little bit thicker. And then I don't know what it will become, but we'll figure it out when we get there. But this it's so soft and smooth. I am a little bit obsessed with it. So I can't wait to see how it looks in the finished yarn. So there is that. I spin on my Dreaming Robots electric eel wheel Nano 2.0, EEW Nano 2.0. I absolutely love it. I do want to get like a traditional treadle style wheel at some point. But I also just love having the electric wheel. I feel like I can kind of spin without having to like be super duper focused. So I can, like have something on, be listening to a book or, whatever. And I think with a treadle style wheel, because it will actually require some coordination of me using my hands and feet at the same time, I think that'll require a little bit more focus. So I love having the electric wheel for a little bit more like relaxed, I'm just going to sit and spin for a while and not think too hard about it. And again, I'm still very new to spinning. I'm not a technical spinner by any stretch of the imagination. I just enjoy seeing what happens, and whatever yarn I end up with, I'll figure out a way to use it and it'll be great. So if you are spinning something, anything, please let me know what you're working on, how you're spinning it. If you're a spindle spinner, if you have a traditional like treadle style wheel, what wheel do you have? Do you like it? Is there anything you don't like about it? I'm kind of doing a little bit of research trying to figure out what wheel I want to get. And yeah, if you have any questions about the EEW Nano that I can maybe answer for you, like I said, I'm not very technical in my knowledge, but I have been using it for, I think I've had it for 9 months now, maybe. And I've really enjoyed it. So, definitely if you're somebody who's maybe thinking about purchasing one or thinking about getting into spinning, if you want to chat about it with me, I would love to talk to you about it. So leave me a comment or you can shoot me a message on Instagram or whatever. Just reach out. I'm always happy to chat. Anyway, okay, that's enough of spinning corner. Now for what I'm working on, I feel like these first 2 projects don't have a ton of progress because the 3rd project I've been working on is the thing that I've been wanting to work on. So first we have the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Maed Designs. I don't know if you can hopefully see that. I did bind off the body. So the body is done. I have not picked up for the sleeves yet. But I mean, I will when I'm ready for something that is mindless and cozy. We'll get back to it. But yeah, that's really all the progress I made, was just finishing the ribbing on the hem. Um, I have talked about this at length in, I think, pretty much every podcast episode so far. So if you want more details on this, please feel free to check out one of my older episodes. But yeah, I still am just obsessed with the fabric, and yeah, I should hopefully at least have a sleeve picked up and just you started on by the next episode. It's my goal. Um, so that is first, and then next we have the beloved Salty Days sweater. Um, so this guy, I feel like I have not made much progress since the last time you guys saw it. I think I had just started in on this cable section. I did finish it, and I'm moving on to the next chart, which is the diamond motif again, which is kind of this lace diamond motif that you see. I think my stitch count is off. I'm not positive, but I think I either lost a stitch somewhere. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I am going to be honest. When I come across issues in my knitting, a lot of times I like to set that project down for a minute, think about it, and then I'll come back to it. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. So I need to just sit down and count my stitches. And if I have messed something up, I need to just tear it back a few rows. Fortunately, because I just started a new chart, I don't need to go back super far. And I know that the previous section before this chart started, I had the right stitch count. So I don't know. It's one of those, I was really tired when I was working on it. I was counting. I may have just been counting wrong. Because that definitely happens when I'm tired. So I don't know. I just need to go back and count, and then we'll keep trucking along on it. It's a fairly quick knit because it's a worsted weight sweater. Again, I've talked about this quite a bit in my last few episodes as well. I do think I'm probably going to order more of the yarn I'm using, which is, I get it wrong every time, so we have to make sure we have the label nearby. But the Good Karma yarn and soap, and it's just their worsted weight. They don't name their bases, in the shade Texas Green. My skein is coming undone. But I am pretty sure that I don't have enough yarn for it, so I need to order a bit more. And hopefully when it comes, it'll be at least close enough that alternating skeins will work. But you guys also know I'm not precious about alternating skeins, so if it ends up being off, I will probably just keep knitting it anyway, because that's kind of who I am. So those are the two projects that you guys have been seeing quite a bit. And then the project that I casted on since we talked last is my traveler shawl, which I am knitting in my handspun yarn. So this is what I've been wanting to knit on. It's kind of hard to see because I've got it on a short cable, but hopefully you can kind of see the colors. I'm pretty obsessed with it. I love the way that it's working up. I love the colors. I love the gradient and the shift, and the fact that I've been describing this yarn as kind of a muted rainbow, and it really is like giving muted rainbow. The yarn, I've posted about it a ton on my Instagram because it's my first like successful spin. No, it's my second. I have another skein of handspun yarn that was my first that I love. But this was a combo. All of the fiber was Polwarth. I used Three Waters Farm Interpoints and then Wooden Duck by 316 Dye Studio, and just spun each braid end to end and then plied them together and came up with this hand spun. I have so much of this yarn. I still have a whole other cake. So I think we're gonna get through this shawl okay, and probably have some left over, which is fine because I will find a way to use any leftover that I do have. But I'm really enjoying this. I am, I don't know, maybe 2/3, a little more than that, of the way through the first triangle. The shawl is made up of 2 triangles, and I'm really just loving working on it. The pattern is really simple, it's really easy to follow, and because there is that color shift in the yarn, it's kind of like working with Spincycle where um, you just want to keep going because you want to see how the color is going to shift. And I've just been wanting to see how this yarn is going to work up, and I am like, I'm so pleased by it. I'm so pleased by it. And I cannot wait for this shawl to be done so that I can wear it and have something that was hand spun and hand knit by me. I am going to move my little progress keeper up so that we can keep track of how much progress we're making on this bad boy. I should probably do that for my sweaters too. Although maybe not the Cozy Classic Raglan because we're moving on to Sleeve Island there. But yeah, I'm so excited about this. And like I said, it's all I've wanted to work on. Anytime I sit down to knit, this is what I'm picking up. So I love it. I love it. I love it. The yarn that I spun up is, it's about a sport weight, not quite DK, of course, because I am still a new spinner. There is some thick and thin in there, which is fine. I think it's working up completely fine regardless. This end, definitely the yarn was a little bit thinner, and you can kind of see it's a bit looser gauge there, and then tightens up as the yarn gets a little bit thicker. But overall, it didn't change too much, and it's not, on the whole, it doesn't look too crazy in the shawl. So I am fine with it. I am not going to be a perfectionist about this. I'm not a perfectionist about pretty much anything ever. But yeah, I'm really happy about this. And I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 weeks when I come back to record. Not a clue. We'll find out together. But yeah, I'm just like, this is what I'm doing today, is I'm knitting this. And that's really all I've been working on. You guys know I have a couple of socks that are languishing and have been languishing and will continue to languish because I'm very much a mood knitter when it comes to socks, and I go through spurts where I really want to knit them and then I set them down and don't pick them up for a very long time. I do have some gift knits that I need to work on. I will probably do something separate for those because the people I am gift knitting for do watch this video. Hello, guys. And I don't want to give away anybody's holiday gifts. So that is everything. I don't have like a major urge to cast on anything new right this minute. I think the Anita sweater that we talked about a few episodes ago will be my next cast on, and I have decided I'm going to film kind of a project based video on that will be separate from the podcast. Just kind of sharing the entire process. I think there's going to be some different techniques. I know there's like using some elastic in the cuffs on the sleeves, which I've never done in knitting before. Um, so I will definitely share that process because that sweater is so beautiful. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be Thanksgiving here in the United States. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. It'll be Thanksgiving this week. I'm working, so it'll be another day, but hopefully you guys get the opportunity to spend some time with people that you love. And you know, I don't know, it's cheesy to say like, oh, be grateful for what you have and all of that, because we should do that every day. Um, but I do want to say Small Business Saturday is also coming up, and it would be amazing if you supported small businesses in your community, or that support the things that you believe in, because there are so many amazing small businesses out there. And I think that that's really important. So if you have like a local yarn shop or bookstores or boutiques or whatever, if you're needing to maybe buy some gifts for people, or for yourself, I know there are a lot of small businesses that really rely on us at this time of year, really to kind of make their whole year possible. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a weird little spiel to go on, but It's fine. I'm here for it. I hope you guys take care. I will see you in 2 weeks for episode 6. See you later.